Hey everybody! This will be one of a few videos that will look into some of the more interesting tinfoily fan theories that I have seen floating around for the lore of Dragon Age. As a disclaimer, my presentation of these theories does not necessarily mean that I subscribe to them. I am just presenting you with the evidence both for and against them to get some thought and discussion going. The lore of Dragon Age is so complex, so let me know if you see if I miss anything or misinterpret anything. Also, please share any of your supporting arguments for or against the theory in the comments. These theories will contain spoilers for all games and books. You have been warned. Theory: Arlathan was the Black City. Okay, so this theory has the tendency to go pretty deep into the lore, with one theory leading to another theory to another, so I'm going to try to keep it sweet and simple and to the point. So here we go. Many fans have speculated that perhaps the Black City, the one constant in an ever-changing place, visible from all points in the Fade, was once the Elven city of Arlathan. Throughout all Dragon Age-related material, we have heard about Arlathan, the capital city of the Empire of the Elves.
Arlathan.
Elvenan was the Empire, and Arlathan its greatest city. Place of magic and beauty, lost to time.
You've studied ancient elves. What else do you know of Arlathan?
We hear stories of them living in trees, and imagine wooden ramps or Dalish aeravels. Imagine instead spires of crystal twining through the branches, palaces floating among the clouds. Imagine beings who lived forever, for whom magic was as natural as breathing. That is what was lost.
So magic was everywhere. Was this the effect of life without the veil separating the Fade from the physical world?
Imagine if spirits entered freely. The Fade was not a place one went, but a state of nature like the wind.
It sounds like it would be wonderful.
And dangerous. But yes, a world where imagination defines reality, where spirits are as common as trees or grass. Instead, spirits are strange and fearful, and the Fade is a terrifying world touched only by mages and dreamers. I am glad that I'm not alone in seeing the beauty of such a world, along with the obvious peril.
Elves were immortal.
The legends of Elven immortality. Did they use magic to increase their lifespan?
No. It was simply part of being Elven. The subtle beauty of their magic was the effect, not the cause of their nature. Some spells took years to cast. Echoes would linger for centuries, harmonizing with new magic in an unending symphony. It must have been beautiful.
Does this mean that having the Fade separated from the real world affected the elves' immortality? According to codexes found throughout all the games, as well as the World of Thedas Volume 1, it was commonly known throughout Thedas that the Tevinter Imperium warred with the elves and sacked Arlathan in -975 Ancient. So this was roughly 1,000 years before the Chantry was first formed. It is said that Tevinter sunk the city into the ground, using blood magic and enslaving all the surviving elves. But Obelisk tells us that this knowledge is wrong.
So, you're elves from ancient times, before the Tevinter Imperium destroyed Arlathan.
The Shemlen did not destroy Arlathan. We Elven warred upon ourselves. By the time the doors to this sanctuary closed, our time was over.
So let's talk a little bit about the Black City. According to the Codex on the Black City, it says, "The chant teaches that the Black City was once the seat of the Maker, from whence he ruled the Fade, left empty when men turned away from him. Dreamers do not go there, nor do spirits. Even the most powerful demons seem to avoid the place. It was golden and beautiful once, so the story goes, until a group of powerful Magister Lords from the Tevinter Imperium devised a means of breaking in. When they did so, their presence defiled the city, turning it black, which was perhaps the least of their worries." But Corypheus, one of those original Magisters, tells us a different story.
The light. We sought the golden light. You offered the power of the gods themselves. But it was black, corrupt, darkness. Ever since,
I once breached the Fade in the name of another to serve the old gods of the Empire in person. I found only chaos and corruption, dead whispers. For 1,000 years I was confused, no more. I have gathered the will to return under no name but my own, to champion withered Tevinter and correct this blighted world. Beg that I succeed, for I have seen the throne of the gods, and it was empty.
If the Golden City was already blackened by the time the Magisters got there, what truly happened to it? There are many theories I could go into about this, and maybe we'll make a future video about it, but for now, let's turn our focus back to Arlathan. A codex on Arlathan states, the ancient elves immediately moved to close Elvenon off from the humans, for fear that this quickening effect would crumble the civilization. But where was Arlathan? I mean, physically. There are no confirmed ruins of what was once Arlathan, only the Arlathan Forest in the Tevinter Imperium. Is that where it was, or does it exist somewhere else entirely? Is Arlathan, or the Black City, physically in the Fade? Is this why the only recorded history of anyone ever actually entering the city was physically? In a random party banter between Solas and Dorian, Solas lets Dorian know that the elves had physically entered the Fade before.
I can't believe I was in the Fade. Physically.
You think that is an achievement of which to be proud?
It's the second time that's been done in all of history. That's not nothing, Solas.
In all of human history?
The Fade is still a mystery to us humans, yes. Probably always will be.
Perhaps it's best it remain that way.
Did the elves move Arlathan into the Fade, closing it off from and protecting it from the humans, accessible only by the Illuvion network? Or did someone else move Arlathan into the Fade? Perhaps fen'harel when he was locking the gods away to protect the people. Could this be the action that created the veil, separating the real world from the Fade? Is this what affected the elves' immortality and caused them to lose their magic? Is this what turned the city black for when the Magisters finally found their way to it? Or is the Black City just a Fade version reflection of a city that once was, and its counterpart in the physical world has been destroyed, thus turning it black? But where did it go? How can so many ruins be left behind, but none from what was known as such a great city? Because this theory is based purely on speculation, there's no strong evidentiary support, neither for nor against it, but rather just some food for thought. What are your thoughts? Do you think the Black City is at all related to Arlathan?